The TRADOC Capability Manager for Force-on-Force training manages and integrates live force-on-force training enablers for the Army. Live training systems enable soldiers and units to train as they will fight, under conditions that will replicate the terrain and environment where they will fight in combat. The Army builds and maintains combat readiness and prepares for deployments by conducting live training at home station and at the Combat Training Centers, or CTCs for short. Locations such as the Joint Readiness Training Center in Louisiana, the National Training Center in California, and the Joint Multinational Readiness Center in Germany allow the Army's Brigade Combat Teams, or BCTs, to collectively train with more than 5,000 soldiers in the same location as the pinnacle of their training preparation. Tough, realistic, and challenging training is the cornerstone of readiness because it increases unit proficiency under stressful conditions. To increase the realism of combat training, the Army currently replicates direct-fire weapons using the Instrumentable Multiple Integrated Laser Engagement System, or IMILES for short. MILES was initially fielded in the 1980s, and maneuver units continue to use updated versions for small unit training at their home stations up to BCT exercises at the CTCs. Current light infantry platoon systems supported by MILES include direct-fire weapons such as the M4 carbine, the M249 Squad Automatic Weapon, or SAW, and the M240 light machine gun. But MILES is unable to simulate 40% of the weapons in a BCT. It is also hampered by its inability to replicate the ballistic profile of munitions such as range-dependent weapon elevation and the correct lead required for a moving target, its inability to simulate a munition's effect upon impact, and its inability to replicate engaging targets using indirect fire such as grenade launchers and mortars. Limitations to laser-based systems also include the inability to engage targets obscured by smoke, foliage, and other debris, which wouldn't realistically stop a direct-fire weapon, and real-time casualty assessment results that support a fair fight, to include collateral damage and soldier tracking. Army Doctrine Publication 7-0 Training guides the Army to conduct its training using its standard operations process of plan, prepare, and execute. In each phase, the unit must assess their progress. To accomplish this during the execute phase, the units must be able to collect the relevant exercise data and quickly compile it into an after-action review. This will enable them to conduct multi-domain operations and maintain overmatch to fight and win in a complex world.